Welcome back to SongwriterTX, all of our live audience here and everyone listening on 99.1 The Buck. We are here with Brent Ryan and Boone Holding and his son Jaden. And we flipped the script a little bit tonight. Boone and Brent normally host the show, and we decided to put them in the hot seat for tonight's SongwriterTX. And I'm enjoying it. How about y'all?
Y'all are too kind.
So I want to give a quick preview. Next month's artist will be Steve Gary and Randy Palmer. SongwriterTX takes place the second Wednesday of every month at 7 p.m. here at the beautiful RockBox Theater. It is a free show thanks to our friend Mike Starks with Remax Realty. We appreciate him more than y'all know. And if anyone is interested, whether listening on the radio or here live, interested in supporting SongwriterTX, reach out to KK, myself, Brent, and we will absolutely direct you in the right path to be able to help us out.
And Mike would really appreciate it if all of y'all would buy a house.
Oh yeah, everyone here, everyone listening.
Throw him a bone, help him out.
Just one. That's all. Just one each, and he'll be happy. All right. So going forward, like we said, they normally host SongwriterTX, and this next question that I want to ask each of them is, what was your standout moment and maybe weirdest moment that you've had in hosting SongwriterTX?
Oh man. They've all been pretty good.
I feel so weird every time I open my mouth. I'm like, this is going to go really good or really bad.
Yeah.
I'll say, like, there's been a couple of guests that I was unfamiliar with that came in, and I was like, wow, just blew me away. All the guests on here have been really good, and I want to say, I think if there's one thing that has stood out to me, and I don't say this to, suck up to everybody here, but I kind of do. Is how well people have responded to this, because I don't know what it is that I've tried to play my songs for people to listen for a long time, or tell people about my friends who are really good for a long time, and I've never had people really take to it like this show. So I think like the fact that so many people come up in here and love it like we do has really surprised me.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah. There's a couple moments I want to share. I'm glad Boone went first. I had time to think about them.
Now I feel stupid.
Watch how grand.
Well, I want to change my moment. That was my moment that I.
And by the way, man, I get schmoozy about you sometimes, but Boone invigorated SongwriterTX so much when he came on board because he just brought a real fresh energy to it. And even today, we met before the show tonight to map out 2025 shows, which we did. I'm not going to tell you any giveaways, but man, yeah. But I just want to really shout out to Boone because the energy, I was like just going through the motions of this thing at that point, and he was throwing all the possibilities, and it's lived up to that. You guys come to this thing. Anyways, I just want to thank you for all that you brought to the show, man. I'd give you a hug, but the guitars would be awkward.
Hey, it is National Hug a Musician
right,
Day.
it is.
Oh
yeah.
my God, we're gonna be getting hugged.
And I'm kind of an awkward hugger. So be warned, if you hit me up after the show, it might be weird.
We'll work for hugs.
But no, there's two things I want to mention. The first year we were here doing it at the RockBox, and even a little bit back when we were doing it at the Arcadia. I had gone through was in the motions of, and then going through my divorce at the time, and there was times where the musicians would share something and play something, and it would really hit me what they were writing about and singing about. And I know when Season was here and she played her song "The Storm" at the end. There's been a couple times where I've been in that seat right there, and I had to sort of look down, like I'm going to lose it right here. And that's really something special when a song hits you. That's the whole point of songwriting to me. But there was some that really, really just got into my heart, But there was one time we were at this is way back in the day when we were at the radio station, And yeah, Justin's back there. And we used to do it in the studio back there. And I remember Julia Hatfield was a guest. This was the first time she was in. I don't remember who the other guest was. But some dude comes waltzing into the studio. He comes walking in. And he's got a guitar in his hands. And he's like, hey, can I be on the show? And we're like, well, who are you? And we're like live on air, like while he's trying to talk. And Justin, like, you know, stopped him at the door. And he's like, I heard the song. I heard the radio. I was listening to it. And I was like, man, I want to play a song. So he came down there. He thought it was like an open mic night. Like he could just show up and play a song. So we thought that was a little weird. So we tried to put him off.
And a little more background to that, though. Justin sees the guy coming in, but everybody else is carrying guitars and microphones.
Yeah.
So Justin just thought he was part of the show.
He thought he was one of our accompanists or something like that.
And as it's kicking off, Brent kind of comes out and goes, Justin, who is that?
Yeah.
And Justin goes, I don't know.
I thought that was your guy, man. Yeah. Well, it got weirder. He stuck around. And then eventually, I remember Justin asked him to leave or whatever, but he ended up going, but he hung out in the parking lot. That's never a good thing. And Julia left that night, and I walked her out because I was like, that guy's out there. And he stopped us in the parking lot, and he brought us a little, like, cigar box, and he introduced us to his rock. And he had a rock in there, and it was in, like, a little towel. And he told us about how that rock was like his connection with God or his spiritual thing or something like that.
And he had to get on air to let the whole world know.
It did.
Yeah.
It
was not a good time.
I was like, Julia, you better go ahead and get in your car and head home. I got this. So that was a little bit weird. Yeah.
That was a weird one. Does any particular artist that y'all have had on stand out above the others as just that wow moment?
Man, I mean, you know, they all stand out in their own ways, you know, like everybody has, and, you know, some people might come in here and not get to play in situations like this a lot, so, you know, they get shell-shocked, you know, it hits them different, they're not used to it, but I'm a big fan of Claude Butch Morgan. He's just, and I was just with him a couple of weeks ago down in Devine in his hometown. He does a little festival there, and Jade and I got to play with him and his band, and he is just so good at his craft. It's intimidating, you know. It's crazy how good he is, and so he always impresses me every time I watch him play. Season Ammons really stuck out to me. I've loved Holland McKay for a long time.
Holland was fun.
And everybody, honest, I'm not just saying this. Everybody that has come on here has showed up and has really showed out. So, you know, but yeah.
There were two for me that come to mind. John Whipple.
Oh yeah, John's really good.
And I'd heard rumors about how good John was, but John doesn't record his music. He's like a true folkie. He's like, you got to come hear me under an oak tree or go to hell.
This particular oak tree.
On Thursday.
Yeah. So, but man, and he just looks like your average Joe, you know. And it looks like he'd be a teacher, like a social studies teacher in elementary school or something.
I think he was.
Was he?
No.
But man, the guy writes incredible songs. So that blew my mind. Back when we were at the Arcadia Theater, I had a guest that I saw at Western Edge. He played after me at a gig at Western Edge, and I just thought he was this sweaty, unshowered redneck dude. He ended up being really good. And then I invited him to come play on the show when we were at the Arcadia, and his name is Dano Simpson. And Dano is now a big deal. Like, if you look him up on Spotify, he's got multi-thousands of followers. He's out of Colorado. He's kind of blown up, and he's opened up for some of my heroes. So I was like, man, that guy kind of went somewhere. And we had him on SongwriterTX. So, yeah.
Well, why don't we play a song? I'll let you two choose who wants to go first this time.
You went first twice. I'll go.
There we go. Way to take charge, Boone.
It was by default. He went. He was fair. You know, he went first. Last
and now I'm the co-host and not the real.
All right. So, you know, we were talking earlier about the tip jar, and it is really nice to be able to get paid for the amount of work that you put into anything you do. So I never ever, when I was younger, I was like, it ain't about the money, and it's definitely not. That has never changed. But yeah, I do, you know, you do realize over time, you know, my wife has been super supportive of this life that I have chosen. and I have 4 kids, so that always has come up, when bills are late, it's like, yo, man, what's going to happen here, and it's so hard to stay creative and to stay optimistic about doing something like that you love so much when also like constantly being late on your bills and not able to pay for stuff that you need to pay for, and this, keeping relationships in your life healthy through all that. And sometimes you need to release it in a song. And so one time I wrote this song, and I never play this song out because it's never a good setting. But if it's a bad setting now, you can all hate me later. But I'm going to try it because I just feel like it's a good time to do it. If I had me one wish, I'd hit the coastline and hell yeah, I'd fish. If I had me one wish, if that wish could be granted, I won't be surprised that seed's been planted. If that wish could be granted, if I had me one wish, I'd float into space on a satellite dish. If I had me one wish, if I can finally do that, to prove to this world that the damn thing ain't flat. Or did we already do that? What do you think, Elon? The more that we have, the less we control, the heavier the weight, the harder to hold. Lo and behold, y'all, what do I see? A big blue genie coming right up to me. He says, you got your one wish. Well, there was a point to this song, but I think it's been missed, because I finally got my one wish. And I was smart, y'all. I wished for 10 more. Greedy old me does not get what life's for, always wanting more and more and more and more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. God saved a wretch like me. I was so lost, but now I feel found. I was blind, Lord, but now I see.
Great stuff, Boone.
Yeah, thanks. One time my buddy, there's a guy, if y'all know him, you're going to laugh. His name is Lee Hale, and he is just the craziest guy, man. He's in the best way. He's a Renaissance man, a real folklore specialist, a storyteller. And one night, he called me at like 10:30 at night, and he was like, hey, Boone, I'm close to your house. I'm coming over. I was like, are you okay? This is odd. And he showed up, and he was just like, he was just happy and in the neighborhood, man. He came and we started playing songs, and I was playing him some songs, and I was like that, just odd songs that I never play, and I was like, I'm never gonna play these songs out, so I'll play them to you tonight. And he's like, I think, Boone, the world needs to hear more stuff like that. So I actually really thank Lee for that, because it makes me think, sometimes you just gotta play the songs and let them fall where they may.
Amen.
It's not always ours to judge.
I think more songs like that need to be played. What do y'all think?
Believe it or not, I didn't write the last part, though. I just added that on.
So he's got this hit he calls Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. He's going to play that for us.
Yeah, I always play that to the kids because, I can actually fool them to believe I actually wrote it, They're easy. It's like taking candy from a baby.
That's it. And all the parents go, he didn't write that.
Oh, man. Look at him. He's a liar.
Yeah, well, Brent?
Yeah, man. Well, this song I wasn't sure I was going to play tonight, but 2 different people requested it during the break, so Justin or Holly. Is that you, Holly? That's you, Holly, isn't it? I got a 5-year-old, and I can't get away with saying this is a new song anymore because she's 5. But I wrote it about 2 weeks before she was born, and I don't know. Y'all are parents. There's weird stuff you can't explain to non-parents, but I was totally in love with her before she was born, and I knew it was going to be a girl. And I was playing a really boring gig, and so I was thinking about stuff while I was playing, because that happens sometimes. You're like, well, I'm just playing Ring of Fire one more time. And so I was like, man, I want to write a song for her that's like her song before she's born, so it's like there for her. And so I was like, man, what do I do though? How do I write a song about somebody I don't know anything about her? I've never seen her, don't know what her hair color is going to be, don't know what her eye color is going to be, nothing about her personality. And for some reason it just popped into my brain that it's like a blind date. And so I was like, I'll write a song called Blind Date, and it'll be for my daughter. And she just heard it about 2 months ago. My parents took her out. I was playing out at Wild Seed Farm, and she'd never heard it before. And I got to play it for her. And she looked like she liked it. I don't know. She won't dance with me. The song talks about dancing with her. She won't dance with me. She'll dance by herself, but she won't dance with me. She's like, no, Dad. And I'll tell her, like, do you want to take dance lessons someday? And she says, I already know how to dance. So she tells her. Anyway, the song is Blind Date.
Coming and I cannot
soon gonna meet. She's on her way to meet me, and I cannot wait for our blind date. So that's not the only song that I've written for. When she was only 1 week old, we pulled into a Walgreens, and my wife at the time went in to pick up some baby stuff, and she was crying in the back seat, in the baby seat, and I was trying to entertain her to get her to stop crying, and I just made up this song on the spot. And now 5 years later, I still sing this song for her every night as her goodnight song when I tuck her into bed. And it goes like this. Y'all can pick on me for the rest of my life. I'm about to embarrass myself big time.
Do it.
It goes, she's my little Remy Rose. She's got a cute little nose and her tiny little feet, the sweetest girl you'll ever meet. And she's got pretty little eyes, but I hate it when she cries. I love my pretty Remy Rose, from her head down to her toes.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
That one probably won't end up on the radio, but
It just did.
Thanks, Toby.
There you go.
I didn't want to be the one to tell.
That's what I'm here for, man.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, but you know what though, man? That's really cool because your daughter's gonna grow up one day and she's gonna say, "My dad used to sing this song to me," and she's gonna sing that song to people, man, and it's gonna make a big difference in her life, dude.
And
That's what being a
she
parent's
will
all
dance
about.
with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, man. That's really good, man. I love to hear that. Yeah, well, I want to say while I'm still remembering, because I was just thinking about this whole show too. You know, I was just a guest on it a long time ago, and I've done several radio shows and podcasts throughout my life, and one of them was called More Than the Music, and I just wanted to meet people in the industry, or not even in the industry, just people that like music and get their take on what we do. And Brent was a guest of mine, and we actually met out at Lukenbach, and
that was fun.
And I had known Brent for a little while, but you know, Brent is a really genuine person, and he tells you what's on his, you know, on his mind and in his heart. And I've always just been very refreshed by Brent. And so when he let me come on and help him with this show, I was really honored to do that. And it's really, I thank him a lot for that, because it's really good working with him. You know, he's a really genuine person, and he has a great heart, and I love being around him. I truly mean that. And then also Justin and Cody and Toby being here tonight, and Paul and KK and Larry and everybody that makes this show. You know, part of what we do here in life is connect with other people. And the show's taken legs of its own, and it's all because of all of us, not because of one of us. And that's what makes it so beautiful. And I just want to thank them for letting me be a part of this. It's really awesome. And so I'm going to lead into my next song. This is a song I wrote for my cousin, Austin. His name was Austin Lee Sims. And when I got into music, I didn't know I was getting into it, and here I am today. And we've done several things. You know, we have like a homestead. We homeschool our kids. I've done all types of jobs to make money. My wife has done jobs to make money. And my wife currently works with juvenile probation of Bandera County. And I know that Art and Lisa were on here back in February, and they were talking about Meals on Wheels, and they do this. The Silver Sage does a great job with a need in our community in Bandera County for all the senior citizens and aging citizens of our county, doing Meals on Wheels and home check-ins and things like that, and has always inspired me. And now I look down the barrel at where I am in my life today at another huge problem in our society, and that is kids coming up without any parents or any structure at all, and just coming up loose. And this hits me special because, you know, when I was coming up, my family just dissolved in the worst way you could possibly think of, and maybe not the worst way, but damn sure felt like it, you know. And the older I get, the more that weight kind of sits on me, which is odd because you think you bury these things and sometimes you just push them back until the right time comes. Well, my cousin, one thing I had that my cousin didn't have, he came from a broken home too, and his maybe even slightly worse, and parents were on and off of drugs, and finally my aunt left the whole house, so he was just there with his dad, who was a bad alcoholic and drug addict. And his whole life he was just, even though it was a joke, it was always, oh, you knucklehead, you're not worth anything. It was just that type of really toxic environment. And I had 2 older sisters, and when my family fell apart, my older sisters picked up my pieces, luckily, and they were there for me to make sure I never fell too hard. And I tried to do the same for them, and I still do. And my cousin Austin just went off the rails. He never pulled out. He was born and raised in Arlington, Texas, never left. And in 2019, I got the call. I reached out to him many times trying to, check in on him. And anyways, he got on his motorcycle. He loved his motorcycle, and he loved hard drugs and alcohol. And he got on his motorcycle and went way too fast, and he ended up killing himself pretty much. I mean, he didn't mean to, but I think he did. And anyways, I had to go speak at his funeral, and I didn't really know what to say. But all I could really say was that he was either going to die from cirrhosis of the liver or like a really bad degenerative disease at 50, and we were going to sit here and rot, or he was going to go out with his knees in the breeze the way he probably wanted to. And on my way home from that, I remember thinking a lot that it like flashbacks of going over to his house and people slapping him on the back of the head, go get me another beer, and just constant that. And I thought, man, how is this guy ever supposed to do anything? You know what I mean? What do y'all expect? And it triggered this song. And I just think there's so many young people today in our society that we have no idea what they're really going through, and it breaks my heart. And I'm telling you this right now, God is my witness. I'm going to do a lot more in my life with my wife and other people in our community that care to reach out to these kids and try to spark something in them. Because just because you've had a hard time doesn't mean you don't have things to offer the world. You just might have a harder time in finding those things. Tragic barely explains the tired weight and the endless pain dripping down into my veins every time I roll to my dealer's place. The room is dark and my eyes get glassed. Gotta get out of here real fast. My bike's got just enough gas to get me somewhere. Off I'm racing. All I need is my knees in the breeze. All I need is an open road. All it takes is a fast lane. I'm a wreck, I've been told. Normal folks say I'm lost. They don't understand this cost. Every time these words get tossed towards these people just like I am. Found a home in them white lines. Home ain't easy to find. Speeding past these warning signs. Tell my mom I'll be fine. All I need is my knees in the breeze. All I need is an open road. All it takes is a fast lane. 'Cause I'm a wreck, I've been told my whole life. I got a couple of really good friends. They tell me they don't want to see this end. They know it's coming and they just pretend like I'm not gonna smash that wall. I'm flying into them Dallas lights all by myself tonight. My life's always been such a damn fight. Now I guess I can show you all I need is my knees in the breeze. All I need is an open road. All it takes is a fast lane. I'm a wreck, I've been told. I've always been told this. I'm just a wreck, I'm just a look. All I need is my, all I need is my, all I need is my knees in the breeze. And that's for my cousin Austin, man. He was a lot more talented than me, that's for sure. He just, when we went to my grandma's house, he used to always tell me, hey, Boone, I know you're like only 11 years old, but we're going to go to these cow patties and try to find some mushrooms. And I was like, Austin, you are on a bad path, buddy. But God love him, and we all teach each other lessons here. That's the main thing.
So how did, I'll start with you, Brent. How did you get started in, first of all, music, and second, into the songwriting aspect of it?
Yeah. Music was not an option to avoid. My dad was a band director, and I grew up musical. Honestly, even I don't want to not give credit to other. I mean, one of my earliest memories is sitting in the back pew of a church in Harlingen while my mom was practicing organ. So the music was always there. I was like, my dad's a drummer primarily, and I wanted to play drums because a kid wants to be like their dad. And for some reason, when I hit 6th grade band auditions, I got a bad case of teenage rebellion. All of a sudden, I was like, I ain't gonna play stinking drums. And I auditioned on saxophone, or as a friend of mine used to call snootophone, and I couldn't get a sound out of it. And so I tried out again, still couldn't get a sound out of it. And then I picked up a baritone, and I could get a sound out of the baritone, but my dad had this rusty old trombone in storage in our house. I mean, it was really covered with rust, like a lot of rust. And he was like, well, what do you think about trombone? Because he's like, I don't have to buy him an instrument if he can play this thing. And
little brass, so it'll be fine.
So I tried it, and I was like, that's pretty cool. So I played trombone, and I almost switched back to drums, but I didn't ever do it. I did end up playing drums in the jazz band in high school a little bit, but that was the kind of music I was into. And then when I was a senior in high school, junior in high school, all my friends were playing guitar, and they were in these rock bands, and I thought they were super cool. And we were all part of the same youth group together. And I talked my mom into buying me a guitar because I wanted to be a youth pastor. And you can't be a youth pastor without playing guitar.
Not too many youth pastors don't play guitar.
Nobody's going to come to Jesus if you don't play guitar. So I got a little Takamine guitar, but I learned real fast because I had friends who played. But I don't know why I wrote songs. It just I don't know why. I didn't even really listen to songwriters. I wasn't really part of any kind of passion. I felt like if I'm going to do this, I'm going to write something. It was almost just not an option.
There you go.
Got to write it. So yeah.
Boone, how'd you get started?
I'm probably going to sound weird for saying this, but I don't think it's weird. But I do believe that God just put me in here. I feel like that. Like the older I get, the more I actually feel like that. I'm not afraid to say it because I have no idea how I got on this path. Other than it was just a calling that was in my soul, and somehow I got here. But one catalyst to that was I thought I was going to go be a baseball player, like even past college. I made it to college, and I was a terrible student. Like I should have never gone to college. Like worst student ever. Like literally passed because I played sports, and I was a decent baseball player and loved it very much, and I just had those dreams. Never thought of anything else but that. And I went to college, and like I didn't even show up to class. Like I was this terrible student, and one of the classes I didn't show up for had a mandate that if you missed more than 5 classes, you were not going to pass. It's just, you were not going to pass the class. It's something that she set very early in the class, and I knew that, and I still didn't show up, and I failed the class. It was an English class, go figure, and the lady who was teaching the class is named Dr. Kathleen Hudson, and she said, though, for extra credit, we could go to the open mic nights. And so I would go to the open mic nights trying to get extra credit, thinking if I didn't go to class, just went to go, balance out. Did not work, okay? Did not work at all. Like thought I was smarter than I was. But I saw all these names, like Lightning Hopkins and Ray Wiley Hubbard and Jerry Jeff Walker and Tish Anahosen. I was like, okay, who are these people? And then I started to learn about oh man, I've always loved to write poetry. My mom, when she was really young, would write me like a line, and I would write her a line back. And then that went into like rhyming the lines back. So it's always been in me, and I would like doodle. That's why I was so bad at school. I would just doodle on my page, and not pay attention. And so Kathleen, I failed Kathleen's class, and I was like, went to her, and I was like, is there anything I could do to make up this work? I really need to play baseball. And she was like, look, you failed, like, that's it. And I left that day like so deflated and out of it, and I was like, had to move on with my life. And I went and partied hard for like a year, just wasting my life. I had no idea what I was going to do with my life. And I worked, and then I met my wife, and she wasn't my wife at the time. She was just this young girl that I was liking, and she liked me back, which was odd. And so we started hanging out a lot, and then she got pregnant, and then we started, just started a life. Didn't even realize what we were doing, and it was crazy. And one day she knew that I liked to sing some, even though like by myself, and I like to write poetry. So she surprised me and bought me this guitar and said, "Here, learn this." And so I did. I just never stopped. I've never not picked up the guitar since that day. And I thank her a lot for this, because she didn't know what she was getting herself into either. But so those are probably the reasons that was the catalyst. But again, I don't know what, I think it was destiny. If there is such a thing as destiny, I think I was destined to be here. And and I like to believe it. If other people think I'm crazy, that's won't be the first, But I do. I think I'm right where I'm supposed to be. You know what I mean? And that's why I don't try to force it too much. I just try to put it in the hands of our Creator and do the best I can with my circumstances,
Well, I'd like to ask your son Jaden the same question. Y'all give it up for Jaden on the keyboards over there. Jaden, how'd you get started playing keyboard?
I got started playing keyboard. Since I was little, always picked up the guitar because that's what my dad played. And so, like Brent said, everyone wants to be like their dad. So I'd pick up the guitar, and when I was like 4 or 5, my grandmother got me a little nylon string. It's like little body, tiny to me now. It was huge back when I was little, but and I would just go around. I'd run around and strum it, and I didn't know how to play any chords. I thought I was the greatest. I thought I was the best. I'd just go around playing chords, singing. Couldn't keep in tune. I look at old videos of myself now. I was like, gosh dang, I was terrible. I feel like I need to apologize for my family for putting up with me. I had no volume control. And then one day when I was like 8 or 9, we lived in a little house, and my cousin passed me down an old keyboard that he had. And it had this little feature on it where you could like see what notes they were playing in the songs. And I would sit in there for hours all day just occupied watching it, all day, just trying to learn songs. And I got pretty good. I got to where I was able to play Fur Elise, and I was proud. And then it broke. My siblings broke it. And then I stopped playing. I went back to guitar for a little bit. Was still terrible. And then one day we got a gift from our friends. We got a big, not full size, but like baby grand piano or something like that. And we put it in the house. And I really liked to play the piano because it gave me, I could do so much more with it than guitar. It clicked for me. I like being able to play, theme songs and stuff, and the theme songs would be recognizable. I could play this melody, it sounds like guitar, or this sounds like violin, or this bass, And, since then, it's just kind of clicked for me. My instrument, everyone, I think most musicians have an instrument that just clicks for them. And piano was mine.
Well, you're sounding great, my man.
Thank you.
Well, Brent, it's your turn, my friend.
Hey, Jaden, who's more strict, me or your mom? Your mom's listening.
You put me on the spot with that one.
Who it is.
I think his microphone just turned off.
We're not on are we on last song? It's not last song yet.
No, not yet.
I was debating what to play. I'm going to disappoint Justin. I'm sorry. I just want to play this song. But this song, Mike Blakely likes this song of mine. So I'm going to brag about that. Because I like Mike. But I'm not really good at writing sad songs, which I think makes me a bad songwriter to some extent. But I don't like leaving people in the gutter. My friend Aaron Lacombe loves leaving people in the gutter. But I don't usually. But I told you guys I don't know how to get into this topic too much without dancing in sort of the weird, but I got divorced about a little over 2 years ago, separated a little over 3 years ago, and man, it really wrecked me. I wouldn't wish it upon anybody. I've talked to people before who are grateful they got divorced, like it was so good to be done with that, and I believe them. But it didn't hit me that way. I always thought that I was gonna just have a family for the rest of my life, I was just recently describing it to somebody as it is like losing a limb. Because some people be like, well, in an amount of time you'll get over it, and I'm like, I am over it. Like I don't think about it in the emotional realm of like I'm so hurt by the breakup anymore. But I really think that when God puts two people together, that there's something that happens. And losing it was like losing a limb, and it'll never be there again. And I'll always feel that. So I don't know if that makes a lot of sense, and maybe it doesn't click with everybody. I'm not the kind of guy that holds on to pain. I feel like I'm okay, But part of me wants to remember that one hurt, So I don't know if that makes any sense. But this is the only song I wrote. My friend Aaron told me, he's like, when I was in the divorce process, he's like, you're about to have a lot of songs. And it didn't turn out that way. I wrote one. This is the one here, and it's called Might As Well Fly. So. Look at you reaching and grabbing any hold you can find. Hoping that paper-thin ledge will bring you some peace of mind. Wish I could tell you all the ways my love could save you now. My love pushed you over the ledge and you took it anyhow. Probably wonder how much longer you fall down into the dark. Wondering how the bottom's gonna feel when you finally hit your mark. Let me tell you, I know bottoms like a father knows his son. What I'll do is pray to the Father, this will be your only one. So raise your arms and close those teary eyes. Say the prayer you were saving for the day you planned to die. There's an empty space ready and waiting to hold you when you cry. If you're gonna keep on falling, guess you might as well, I guess you might as well fly. On the battlefield I fell weeping at the weight of the damage done. How do I pick up the pieces when I'm holding the smoking gun? Here among the dying, a sparrow takes up to his wing. In homage to the soon-to-be buried, he offers now to sing. So raise your arms and close those teary eyes. Say the prayer you were saving for the day you planned to die. There's an empty space ready and waiting to hold you when you cry. If you're gonna keep on falling, guess you might as well, I guess you might as well fly.
Very good song, Ben.
So I want to ask the audience, we've just about reached time Y'all want one more song each? Anybody have a bus they need to catch or a train or anything? We can stay for a few more minutes.
The Fredericksburg train station's going.
I'm just saying. Hey, before we do though, before the break, Boone, I promised the audience a story.
Yeah, okay. I was actually gonna add that into my super sad story with my cousin because part of coming up really unstructured and without any guidance is you end up doing a lot of really stupid stuff, and you have to learn the hard way. And luckily, you're really lucky if you get out alive. Well, one time, this was like not the dumbest thing I ever did. This just made it to the show somehow. It was my fault, really, but I was joking around with Brent.
A little bit of my fault.
One time we were gonna go, my buddies and I were gonna go play some tackle football at the park, and we decided that we found this bottle of Nair, and we didn't know what Nair was. My sisters had it. And we were like at this apartment that we stayed at, and we decided that we were gonna, put the Nair on, see if it actually worked. Like legs, armpits, arms, eyes, eyebrows, everything but our head, and the Nair freaking worked, absolutely worked. And I was just like red and burning and had no idea what was going on. I think I left it on too long, And we were like playing tackle football, and our skin was like just red and bloated, and yeah, it was just really stupid. And honestly, that was like one of the least stupid things I did, to be honest. Like, that's something I can tell on the radio and not like get put in jail for it today. You know what I mean?
Don't worry, man. Eventually, at some point in your life, there's going to be one of those commercials on TV that's like, were you injured using Nair back in the day?
Yes.
Call the law offices of so-and-so.
Yeah. Five. Nair. Yeah, no, that stuff's terrible. Like, who created that? You know what I'm saying?
I don't think you used it as it was intended.
No, I don't. I tell you, I left it on too long.
Well, Boone, let's start with you. Last song of the night.
This is a, I want to do this one because I was going to do one for my wife, but instead of doing the song for my wife, I want to do another one. And I'm going to tell you that, I'm so lucky that I met my wife, and I know Brent was talking about, going through a divorce, and I was a kid on the other side of a really bad divorce, and I know what that can do to families and what that can do to people, and it's really hard, and I know that. And I've just been so blessed to have my wife. We have been through some real hard times, and even recently been through some really hard times, and I'm telling you what, that she has stood by me through a lot of bad stuff, and nothing ever, too bad, but just when a lot of people wouldn't have stuck around, she always did. And if there was one person in this whole world I could call at any time I needed something, it'd be my wife. And I just wanted you all to know that when you see me up here doing what I do, interviewing people, or you see me out, that like a big part of my heart is at home with my wife. She is amazing, and I love her very much. And I just wanted to let y'all know that. Now, the song I'm going to sing has nothing to do with that, but I just wanted to say that because I get older, and damn, I didn't say it enough when I was younger, how much she means to me. She definitely means a lot to me. But a friend of mine is actually here, and he gave me the idea for this song. One time we were doing some hiking out in Vanderpool, and my buddy is a Jehovah's Witness, and he was raised Jehovah's Witness. And he was telling me that the witness don't believe there's a hell. And I'm not really versed in any of this stuff, so I was like, oh, wow, really? So we started talking about this concept of heaven and hell and what is real and what's not, or what we think. And it's funny, I met this guy. He was knocking on my door one. No, I'm just kidding. No, I had to say that, but no, he gave me the idea for this song, and it just it was one of those too. I just went home and I was just like, oh, I'm gonna play with that, and then this came out. I'm throwing a curveball at my son. We haven't really ever done this song too much together, but I'll play it for you guys, and I don't even know what it's called because it's a little bit on the newer side. But I hope y'all enjoy it, and thank y'all very much for putting up with me tonight. I do appreciate it. Today, hell will probably stare at me to claim this bond that I must break. 'Cause if it builds, well, Oh, I think we know the stakes, and I don't want to lose by getting used to living in fear. Where will it go? How will we grow from here? Today hell will probably cast a little doubt deep down where there ain't no one else that sees to push this all out. Lord, I think it's up to me, and I don't want to lose by getting used to living life scared. 'Cause where will it go? How will it grow from there? Uno, dos, tres. Oh, what would the devil even want with the soul? Damn, it's already been sold anyway to the corporate store. They offered me more. Now they control all the things that I say. The disguise that hides its lies somewhere there behind these eyes. If hell is a place we create when alive, not just a place that we go when we die. Hell is a place we create when alive, and not just a place that we go when we die. Today, they'll probably tell me, boy, you should cherish that gold. Today you'll see heaven. And today you'll see that hell will. Today I will not be another soul.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's fun.
Well, Brent, I will let you close the show, my friend.
Well, I told my dad I'd play this song tonight. He's here tonight, my mom and brother too. I also told my brother I was going to play a song for him, but I'm not going to do that.
Didn't make the list, Carol.
I'm going to give you a noogie for that.
Yeah, well, we just ran out of time, but we had fun. Y'all have been a wonderful audience. Thank y'all for coming. I was like, man, if me and Boone come up here on the stage, there's going to be like 10 people who come out to this. And, y'all showed up. I appreciate that. It means a lot to me. I also want to say Paige Finley, who does Fbg.Live. I don't know if he's still here. He kind of came and went, but he's got his guy back here. Fbg.Live has been doing videos of these. I just want to shout out to him because back a long time ago, long before this relationship, I don't think I was even doing SongwriterTX. He just was like, hey man, can I do something for you? I was like, why? I was like, I can't pay you. He's like, nah, let's just do something together. And he came out to my house and he just did a video of me playing songs on my front porch and just put it out there. He's got a great heart. He just wants to do cool things to help people out in the community, and he volunteers Fbg.Live. I wish I could say we're paying him, but like a lot of us, he just does it out of love. So I just want to shout out to Paige and the Fbg.Live folks. Do you remember that, Paige? That was weird. Y'all working on my porch? That was weird. We had fun though, didn't we?
A lot of it.
You had your little army of kids out there with you. So this song's called Free. I played this. It was on my first record. It's the only thing I'm going to play tonight. It's off my first record. But it was the last song on the record, and I grew up listening to albums, and I thought albums should have a path through them. Like, I really thought very intentionally about how I wanted my record to start from song to song, and I wanted Free to be like the grand finale of the album. Then I released it on streaming, and I didn't realize that we were in they call the attention recession, and nobody gets past like halfway through a song before they're like, I'm gonna listen to something else now. So long story short, nobody listens to this song. It's the last on my record, so nobody really knows it exists. But I was playing it for a friend, and she was like, that's going to be a hit. I can tell. I just know these things. She was very wrong. But I've always loved it. The weird stuff about songwriting, man. I woke up at 4 a.m. It had been kind of a weird year. My dad was battling with cancer at the time. Shortly after that, my dog was diagnosed with cancer, and then we lost him a couple of months later. And I was struggling with job stuff. There's just all sorts of things that were just And I woke up at about 4 a.m, laying in bed, and the chorus to this song was just in my head. I have no idea why it was there. And I was like, that means something to me. But at the end of the day, the reason why I wrote all of this is because freedom is something that's a God-given gift to every human being on the planet. America didn't invent freedom. We just acknowledged it. Everybody's free. And there's consequences to what we do. In some countries, there's a lot worse consequences than what we have here. But freedom is something, there's at any point, any one of us could do pretty much anything we wanted to do. We just may have to pay the price for it, you know? But I was thinking about that concept and how freedom is just something that God gave us out of his love. And even though we all struggle with the same stuff, we all hurt in the same ways and all that stuff, at the end of the day, we're all still given the freedom to be here and to love and to be loved, and there's not a soul who can take it away from us. And so that's kind of what this song is about. So I also haven't played it in a long time, so if I screw it up, there's your grand finale right there.
That's for you, Dad.
When the news on TV is dark and looking bleak, I'm free, Lord, I'm free. When I'm looking at the numbers and my income's looking mean, I'm free, Lord, I'm free. When I get home from working long and my wife has had it rough, I'm free, Lord, I'm free. That task list hanging on the fridge is a little bit too much. I'm free, Lord, I'm free. And I'm free as a shooting star that blazes through the night. So far I'm free as an eagle on the wing. Well, I'm free as a wild horse running through my dreams. I'm free, Lord, I'm free. When those who said they loved me weren't all they seemed to be, I'm free, Lord, I'm free. And those that I have loved the most pass on away from me, I'm free, Lord, I'm free. And I'm free as a shooting star that blazes through the night. So far I'm free as an eagle on the wing. Well, I'm free as a wild horse running through my dreams. I'm free, Lord, I'm free. when the sunrise can't find me, or the clouds in between, I'm free. Lord, I'm free. And those storms blowing in tonight are dark and looking me, I'm free. Lord, I'm free. When the road up to the mountaintop is rocky and steep, I'm free. Lord, I'm free. And the faith I need to push ahead is a terrifying leap, I'm free. Lord, I'm free. When the heart that beats inside my chest beats its final time, and the Maker looks me in the eye and says I did just fine, well, I hope I have the eyes to look back on my life and see that the one who loved me all my life has finally set me free. And I'm free as a shooting star that blazes through the night. So far I'm free as an eagle on the wing. Well, I'm free as that wild horse running through my dreams. I'm free, thank God I'm free. Thank you, Toby.
Boone, Jaden, Brent, thank you all so much for sharing your talents and your
Toby,
stories.
thank you for doing this,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Thank you so much for stepping up and doing this, Toby.
We appreciate it.
Thank you for allowing me the chair.
Well, you know what? Everyone said, like, hey, will y'all do a day? And we were like, who would host? Who would host? And Toby came to our mind instantly, man. We're a big fan of everything you do.
Well, thank you, sir.
And you help out a lot of musicians yourself, man. And,
Wow.
you know, he's on the radio, 99.1, every
3
day
to
of the
6,
week, right?
Highway
5 days a
16
week.
Drive.
Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 on 99.1 The Buck. But most importantly, I want to thank our audience, both here live and listening on the radio. This show don't happen without y'all. And we absolutely appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks to all the folks at the RockBox for graciously allowing us to use this beautiful building. Thanks to Jam Broadcasting, Mike Starks, Fbg.Live. Thanks everybody for making this show possible. And good night.
Have a good night.
See you on the lobby.
Thank y'all.